Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hello, my friends.
Hi.
Hi. Well, welcome to our first late night crypto live talk show. No idea what's going to happen tonight. We're just going to have to work through it. We'll probably press a load of wrong buttons, but that's the fun of doing it. How is everyone? Who have we got here? We've got Sterling, Legal, and Groovy.
How you doing? Hi, people.
I am great, my friends. We're gonna talk about a lot of crypto tonight,
Well,
and hopefully we cover a lot of things, have a nice conversation, and
hopefully you guys are doing better than the Bitcoin market at the moment.
I know, right? It's going crazy.
Exactly. Yeah.
And the bears are in full effect at this point.
We got Sterling as well. Sterling, how are you? Oh, we can't hear Sterling for the moment. First technical issue of the night. Mr. Sterling, can you hear us?
What's up? Sorry, guys. Hey, how we doing?
Yo, we can hear you. We're okay. So should we jump in and have a look at what Bitcoin's doing? If we got a chart up somewhere we can have a look at?
Yep. So first we could probably take a look at the state of the market, looking at some charts to see how BTC is doing, probably Ethereum as well. And then we can talk some news to contextualize everything a little bit more. So
nice. I'm up for that. So let's get the chart up and have a look, see what's going on.
Let's get it up.
I think at the moment we look like we're going down. We're at $31,318.
So
finance.
I'm gonna put up my chart really quick right here. So this is Bitcoin at the moment, and as we speak, we are dropping even more. We just had a daily close 20 minutes ago, 19 minutes ago actually, and that daily close was at a 11% downside movement for Bitcoin actually.
And one thing to also note with that is that's a full body decision candle. So, it's a lot of decisions behind that, and it's a lot more holding weight basically.
Exactly. So for support zones, we had this local support drawn beforehand at the 35K level, and we just shot straight through it. And right now we are closing in to the next support line, which is the 29K level. So what do you guys think about it?
Yeah.
Well, it's not too good, but hopefully it'd be interesting to see what happens when we get to the 29 level. Whether we keep that as support, or we unfortunately break through it and then turn that into resistance. I think that's going to be the signal there that we got to look out for. So
yeah, that's true. And I have a chart myself to kind of contextualize some of this down movement and kind of visualize and have a price target over here. So if you look at my chart, we're currently working on a head and shoulders pattern that's been going on for quite some time. If you can see here, we have a left shoulder, the head formed, and the right shoulder, which came down. We even came back up, retested the neckline of the shoulder. But as you can see, none of the candles actually closed above it. So essentially, in this case, it's still in effect. And the current price target for this would be right below 29,000. So it's 29,000. And that's where we stand. So I'm feeling like this is still in play. The more bullish movement would be a double bottom situation if we get and find support in this zone here, which I have drawn out from a long time now.
Nice.
Yep. Well, this is scary times for sure. I think there's a lot of fear going on in the market right now. A lot of news, bad news, good news, people buying, people holding. But we're just gonna have to see how the chart is gonna react to everything, and if we're gonna actually hold this 29K level. because this is major support, and yeah, it's very dangerous right now.
Yeah, and I think to also note is that, just how many days ago? We're looking at about 3 days ago, we had a death cross on the 250 MAs on the daily candles.
Oh wow.
So, this is something to definitely keep in mind because that's going to signal, some bearish price action for at least, some time to come.
And for people that are not aware there what a death cross is, can we go into that a little bit more?
Yeah. So if you look at my chart over here on my screen, I have what we have here is the moving averages. Currently, I have two selected, and these on TradingView you can actually lock into a particular time frame. Usually, they have other types of moving averages which are really useful, such as the exponential moving average. But if we look here on the exponential moving average, the EMA, which is the red and the blue line, there wasn't a cross yet. So it can be a little deceiving, but the metric that is used and has been used, in Forex and in stocks is the regular moving average, the classic. So the cross did happen there. And essentially what it is it's just an average of the candles over a period of time. So in the case of the 50, it takes 50 candles, finds the average of those candles, and plots a point on the map. And then it takes the next point, looks for the next 50 candles, and plots the next point. And in this case, it's a smoothed out line, but it can be changed into actual points, which is how the program calculates it. But currently, yeah, so we did have this death cross. It is a bearish situation. We do need this 50, which is the white line, to essentially start flattening out before we can start considering a more bullish scenario. Because currently with these 50 MAs and the EMA pointing down, that's signaling the momentum is still to the downside. Because the EMAs and the MAs are great to actually indicate momentum in the market depending on the trajectory of the lines.
Got you. And what are we looking at then if it does find the 29K as support? What are we sort of predicting its behavior could be from that moment?
Well, at this point, we do have the 29,000, which is the price target for this head and shoulders. The other thing that we have to worry about essentially, and it's still not out of the question, is the potential for this overall larger bear flag that we potentially have been forming, which essentially is when we're from a downtrend, and then we're forming a flag in an actual channel. So it can be argued that this potentially was a bear flag situation because the price did respect this channel. Let me go ahead and clear up some of this for you guys. There we go. So yeah, if we look here, of course I got my drawings back. I got you guys. We were stuck in this parallel channel here, and it's usually indicative of an actual flag situation. And currently we're breaking out of it and breaking down to the downside. So if this does play out, more than likely we're looking at the overall price target of 11,000, which is the extreme bear scenario, which I highly doubt we'll get to because of the big institutions buying in, which kind of bolster the price a little bit in my eyes, unless they start selling off.
Yep. So talking about that, the real question that a lot of people are asking right now is, are we on a bear market, or is it just a mid-cycle correction actually? And obviously we can look only at the charts and trade between ranges and wait to see if we're actually going to bounce from a major support level. But I think it's important for us to actually look at how are people and how are institutions actually behaving um, on BTC and on the rest of the crypto market as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, as we are seeing on the market, we are there's a lot of news about a lot of different institutions and a lot of different people that are buying or stopping to mine BTC as well. So these are all questions that should be taking into consideration if we're gonna actually answer or try to answer this question,
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I understand. What about Ethereum?
Yep. So I have a chart here. Let me see if I can just put it up for you guys. For Ethereum, actually. So we have, as it always happens, Ethereum follows BTC at the majority of the time, and similarly to BTC, because BTC dominates the market almost every time. We have been dropping pretty hard as well for Ethereum, and the previous daily close that we had actually was 15%, so almost 16%, and we actually Ethereum overperforming over BTC as always, but unfortunately this time it's to the downside. And we actually broke this support that we had, this major support actually. So if you guys look closely here, we had this resistance area right here, and we also had resistance right here, and we actually broke it after that and turned it into support for all this other move right here. So this was a big area for us, and we actually shot straight through this as well. So if you guys look over here, you're gonna see that we have basically no support between this area and this area on the 1,500 level on the daily time frame. So this is very scary stuff for Ethereum as well. The good news is we're gonna have hopefully the EIP 1559 coming on next month. So this is something to look forward to. But yeah, we're gonna have to see how the price is gonna go until then, because this
Yeah,
is looking a little bearish right
I
now.
actually have a chart too. If I can
Yep.
pull up my chart really quickly, um, essentially much similar to how BTC was reacting. Give me 1 second here. I'll get the chart up for you. And then so right here we have Ethereum now. Something I've noticed for quite some time now is that we've been in a broadening wedge with Ethereum, and so far right now it seems like we have broken down to the downside. If you notice here, we have these yellow lines, and it's a clear broadening wedge that's playing out. There is a price target I have currently. We have been dealing with some fractal patterns of head and shoulders. Usually, when we're dealing with patterns in trading, a lot of times they're very fractal, and you start seeing small W's formed, and there's going to be larger W's. And in this case, we had a head and shoulders that played out over here. If you notice, I'll quickly get a drawing up for you guys. And this one actually played out, and actually target was hit. So we had the head and shoulders here. The target would have been right here, just at 21,000, and this was another point that it reached, 21,030. So we had also a larger situation of an inverse head and shoulders. If we count essentially the similar head situation, and since this one essentially, some people might try to discount this, but I still say, based off of what I've been learning, that this is still in play, and the target would be down here. So we're fairly close to the target, and right now I would like to see what it does after that. Like Groovy said, we're dealing with a situation where there's not a lot of support underneath the current price action, and so we're looking and grasping at straws at this point, see where it's going to land.
Exactly. Yep.
And what do we think's caused this spike down? Because obviously we were in quite a good run when we were looking back. I can remember when we were talking in Discord a while ago, we were expecting this thing to rocket, weren't we, at some points?
Yeah. So a lot of things happened, but I think everyone actually knows, and we have been talking about on Twitter and and other places as well. The whole China situation, right?
Mhm.
So China actually banning miners and mining facilities from essentially doing its job, which is mining. And we saw that the hash rate for BTC is actually dropped a lot, and it's still dropping. Um, so that's probably uh, one of the reasons.
Yeah, it does
Uh,
look like we are having continued, regulations and facilities being closed down
mhm.
currently in the near future as well. There's going to be many, facilities that have been cracking down on. One of the also the other takeaways is that the larger government is really cracking down on the small government to really enforce these rules. Because it comes down on the local level if the rules are truly going to be enforced, and so this comes down all the way down the chain. These shutdowns.
It's just, yeah, for me, I struggle sometimes with the concept, because in certain countries I could understand that they might want to implement certain things, but in other countries that have quite an infrastructure for looking after things, you would imagine that China could essentially work out who's using this electricity and actually earn quite a bit of revenue off taxing it, wouldn't you?
Yeah. And so one of
Yep,
the other things is, what kind of electricity are they using? So we have the fossil
exactly.
fuel industry, which this is one of the bigger issues that they're dealing with. And I actually totally agree with shutting down facilities that are using, more CO2 emitting and ozone depleting methods of providing power for those mining facilities. But in a large amount of these cases, we're talking about hydroelectric power that are being used to, power these facilities, which is very green in my eyes.
Yeah, the whole argument that people are bringing is the nature argument, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, how mining can be used, can be done with renewable energy instead of sort of energy that destroys the environment. And people are actually saying that uh, this China ban and all of the miners actually moving to other places and stuff, it's actually going to be good for the environment. So,
Mm.
and also some people are saying it's not going to be that much relevant to the BTC price. So, but that's something we're gonna have to wait and see. Um, According to CoinDesk, actually, I have my news here. If I can just get it up as well. So CoinDesk actually posted this a few days ago, and in the province of Sichuan, uh, we also had a lot of miners shut down. So we had approximately 26 facilities over there. Yep, local authorities plan to shut down 26 companies that have been identified as potential crypto mining business by the state grid. So there's a lot of things going on over there. So we're gonna have to see how are the miners gonna react to that, if they're gonna move to another place, if they're gonna change how they are actually producing and mining BTC, if they're gonna use renewable energy, and how is gonna play out on the charts as well.
Yeah.
It just seems to me that, not that I'm have a history in running governments or anything like that, but I would say that this could earn you a lot of money in taxable income if you gave licenses, if you had facilities built next to ethical energy, in a
Well,
sense.
it does seem like that's what's happening over in South
Yeah,
Korea too, because they're doing a lot more regulation and taxing of the mining, not so much stopping the mining, but taxing it.
yeah. Because then you've got, we've all heard of what El Salvador's doing. El Salvador is really on the opposite side of
Yeah.
how they view Bitcoin, and have really, taking it up to encourage Bitcoin entities to start there.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I've done a little bit of research on this, and I've actually found it for apparently it's around 3 BTC, which if Bitcoin keeps going down, guys, you might have the unique opportunity to get permanent residency in El Salvador.
See, and the other thing I was wondering too, because how much of it is, FUD, and how much of it is a lot of, because right now I think we're in a different, or we're on the cusp of a different kind of market, especially when in terms of crypto, and with the introduction of DeFi and how much is getting ingrained in a lot of, the infrastructure and the different parts of companies at this point with these smart contracts. How much of it is the news agencies and the different, bigger names just creating the FUD? Like, and for example, there was this big thing about a Donald Trump tweet that, essentially all BTC dumped because Donald Trump tweeted something negative about it. So how much of these retailers are listening and have their finger on the pulse of what these guys say,
Yeah,
exactly.
I think it's also an interpretation of what you take as negative, though, because if I'm thinking about the direct interview that you're talking about, he actually endorsed crypto and Bitcoin as being a real threat to the US dollar, and I believe he actually called it a currency as well. So I would take that as an endorsement into the fact that Bitcoin is not being seen as a joke.
Well, also to par with old Donald Trump, he is gonna actually mess up at the end every time. So, he tried to down it, but in the end, he outlined the fact that it's something that's becoming widely adapted and a real contender to fiat currency.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it when it happened as well, because we all see the kind of ignorance of that statement, calling it a currency and everything. But you see that the effect that it have, the words have on the retail, right?
Yeah.
But we also see that smart money is making some moves. And also I have something interesting here that I can show you guys. Willy Woo, you guys might know him, on-chain analyst, really famous on Twitter as well. And he posted this thread yesterday about how hodlers are not selling BTC and institutions are actually buying more as well. So we see some very clear signs of accumulation in these times by smart money, but we are seeing it drop really hard as well. So nobody knows where's the bottom gonna be. But as you guys can see here, he posted this liquid supply change for BTC, and it basically shows that the money is being held by hodlers who had this money in this BTC for a long time. And he also says here that no one is actually selling. Whales aren't selling, sharks aren't selling, and dolphins aren't selling.
Well, what about the penguins? Are the penguins selling?
Exactly. So
I mean,
yeah,
I'm sure.
Yeah, it is interesting, but obviously the retail section that are buying in here, your average people like us in the markets, when it gets down to this sort of price range, I don't know about you, but I'm looking in my cold storage and I'm a bit nervous to look in there, to be honest.
Yeah, and then see that's the other point I was thinking about too. It's like, okay, there's this, I guess, ongoing, I don't want to say it's, conspiracy theory, but, you have the market makers and you have the market takers. Retailers, we're the takers, then you have the market makers, and there's incentive for them to drive the price up or drive the price down, depending on the times and what the state of the market is. But in a case where they're driving the price down, we have, the Wyckoff theory, which is an accumulation pattern that is seemingly what we were in at the moment. But with all these theories and these accumulation patterns and these movements of the market makers, how much of it can they really control if they take it a little too far, let's say, and the retailers panic and start selling themselves? Because, like you said, they are accumulating, but the only way for them to accumulate is if someone sells. And so, who's selling? And that's all the retailers who are panicking, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the thing about that I always talk about that retail, unfortunately, is very driven by emotion in trading. So, and we see a lot of it in Twitter and in YouTube, a lot of emotion trading, a lot of overly bullish or overly bearish things going on, and this drives the retail to actually make emotional decisions. And when that is done in masses and in a lot of numbers, it can change the market pretty drastically.
Yeah, the
Be-
whole market structure. Yeah,
exactly, yeah. So that's why I keep saying people don't be emotional, trade the chart, only look at news that you can trust, try to filter out all the noise, because crypto as a space, it's really volatile, and if people are emotional about it as well, things can go south pretty quick.
yeah,
Yeah, I suppose it's. I think it depends on what type of portfolio you're playing with as well, because obviously there are some emotions that do run there, and it is easier said than done. But I do agree with you. You have to sort of look at it for what it is, and try not to be emotional. Otherwise, you get into the concept of revenge trading, which we all know is somewhere that you don't want to be.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly. Yep.
And then that's also why we have the concept here of like psychological numbers. Like when we get to this 30,000, I know that's going to be a huge psychological number for a lot of investors. So if the price breaks down below that, then we're going to have a situation where we're going to have a lot of other people who normally wouldn't be panicking have that bar set to, let's say, 30,000 for their panic meter to go off.
Yeah, exactly. And I wonder if it does break down into those 20,000 figures, what panic selling is going to happen there, especially if any new people have got in and they've bought up as it was in the high 30s. I think we're going to get into a concept of people selling out, and then if it does reverse up, they're going to panic.
Yeah.
And the way.
The selling, it gotta exhaust the selling at some point.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a bottom. Where is that? We don't know, because right now, not even MicroStrategy is being able to pump the price, because as we see here on this news, MicroStrategy with Michael Saylor, they bought another 489 million of Bitcoin. So not even that is being able to drive the price up. So
Yeah. And the other
yeah,
thing to note too, and something that was mentioned in the article is, although overall, even with this recent purchase that they purchased at 37,000, the overall dollar cost average for the company at the moment is $26,080 per price per Bitcoin. So inclusive of the fees and expenses, they're still in a net positive in terms of their investment. So at this point, we have to think about, is that their point? Is that their breaking point? 26,000 for MicroStrategy, because that's when they truly become in the negative on the investment.
yep.
Yeah.
And we see Michael Saylor on Twitter every time. He just doesn't have a exit strategy for BTC, and I imagine his company doesn't also. So yeah, I guess we're gonna have to see some more big institutions coming out and saying they're buying, so we can have a nice recovery on the market.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe now he is one of the largest independent holders, isn't he? Or well, his company will be not far behind Coinbase holdings, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, 105,000 bitcoins. That's quite a lot of bitcoins.
Well, yeah, he's going to have some fun if it does moon up and go into figures that we've all heard about. It's a crazy amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. On the other side of the coin, actually, we had Michael Berry. I don't know if you guys know him. He was very famous um, for betting against the U.S. subprime mortgage market back on the 2007 or 2008 financial crisis. And they have a movie about it as well, The Big Short. Very nice movie as well. And he actually said some pretty harsh things about crypto and the stock market as well. So according to CoinDesk, he said all hype speculation is drawing in retail before the mother of all crashes. When crypto falls from trillions, or meme stocks fall from tens of billions, Main Street losses will approach the size of countries, and history ain't changed. So basically, he thinks everything is gonna come crashing down even more, along with the stock market, actually.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing to point out too with, this gentleman is that he likes to post tweets and then delete them right away. Is one thing that this article points out. So how much of it is him just trying to create some FUD or something, and then him realizing, wait, this is a little too much. Let me get rid of this because he's getting, drawing ire from the community or whatnot.
Yeah, there are certainly some individuals that do enjoy their Twitter accounts. Our friend Mr. Elon, I think, has realised the impact of his Twitter account.
And once they realize the gravity of the power they hold with just a mere few words or picture or meme, how much of it is it truly premeditated at that point?
Yeah.
So I see we've got Danny that's joined us here in
Danny, how are you doing?
Yeah, how are you, Mister?
What's up, Danny?
Well, welcome to our first Yarcrypto late night talk show.
Yeah, guys, thanks for joining us. Really, thank you for joining us. Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, anything you guys want us to talk about, you can just comment it down there. We'll look for it.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Ruby.
No, go ahead, man.
I'd really like to know what people who were at the Bitcoin conference are saying right now. What's going on right now with people like Tim Draper, who at the Bitcoin conference.
Yeah, isn't that going on up to the 25th?
Yeah. But Tim Draper, who's a venture capitalist and he's a billionaire, American billionaire, he was saying at the Bitcoin conference, he was interviewed, and he says that he still thinks that Bitcoin will reach 250K by 2023. So do you guys think that that's still possible, considering how drastically we dipped in since May 20th or May 15th or so?
Well, one of the main things that we have to take into account is just the pure crypto market cap and the dominance, and how much money is able to pump into the crypto markets by then. Currently where we at, 1.5 billion, total market cap.
Well, let's take a look. You want to hop on some coin market cap? Let's go.
Yeah, yes, let's do it. Let's have a look.
Well, we can put up the chart too. Actually, we have the BTC, the total market. If you look at my chart here, I have the actual crypto total market cap up, and currently, we're pretty down, on the total. At the moment, we're at 1.266 trillion. This is the crypto market cap, including Bitcoin. we have the other chart right here underneath, which excludes Bitcoin, and it's looking a little grim in my eyes. We're only at 670 billion, and if you look here at the heyday of this bull run, we're currently at 1.41 trillion, and this is just for the alts. So we're more than halfway, you know, in terms of the cap that we had before. And this was
Yeah,
just where in May 12th,
yeah.
Yeah,
not
around
too
May.
long
Yeah,
ago.
mid-May.
So another thing to add to this discussion is we gotta look at how much of the world actually knows about crypto. Because obviously we have a lot of hype on Doge and meme coins and Bitcoin 60K that we had earlier in this year. But we are, I would say, we are pretty early on the whole decentralization concept.
Yeah,
Yes.
So obviously we have the government, especially in the UK, and we are seeing a lot of fear around decentralization, especially from centralized governments,
yeah,
ironically. But yeah, I think looking back and looking at how we are at a whole market, crypto is still uh, in its younger days, I think, and it has a lot of room to grow. So I think that prediction that Sterling mentioned is not out of the picture, because if we keep growing and keep evolving as a market, and people keep bringing interesting concepts and interesting projects over to crypto, I think eventually we're gonna uh, conquer, quote unquote, the world in a very good way, um, and especially with retail coming in and more people knowing about it.
Yeah,
yeah. I agree.
I agree as well.
See, but along the
Yeah.
lines of, you mentioned meme coins and things like Doge and the likes, but how much of that, can we attribute to actual damage, in terms of the confidence that new retailers and current retailers may have that jump into these coins and maybe, don't have a favorable outcome?
Exactly. Yep.
Oh yeah. We
Yeah, that we can consider that just positive stuff on the long term for crypto, because it's getting its name out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, more people know about Doge than they know about Ethereum or Cardano or Algorand sometimes.
It's
Yeah.
true, but let's say, for example, I have a few people in my personal life that I interact with, and from all walks of life, and they question me. They're new, they don't know about crypto, but I hear things like, "Oh, what can you tell me about this XRP? I keep hearing about XRP," but they don't know anything about any other crypto. They're just hearing the buzz about
I know.
just XRP or something. But then they're like, "Oh, is this stuff a scam?" They're asking me, and instead of doing the research and maybe trying to learn about it, they're going with what they're hearing. The he say she said, and so I'm worried about that a little bit too. Like you said, it's good news, but how much of it, can be negative and, stop people from actually jumping in
Yeah.
before
Yeah.
more regulation is needed, in terms of stopping, the people from getting hurt.
Yeah. So yeah, we have to keep that in mind as well, because as the market expands and more people come in, the other side of that is more people come in because and then we're gonna have bigger problems that are actually related to more people coming in as well. So it doesn't it's not only the good side, uh, especially from the retail perspective. But yeah, I think bigger market, it's gonna keep growing. Crypto as a concept and decentralization is the future, no doubt. And I
What
don't
about
think
what
they're
about
gonna.
NFTs as well? Because actually, there's a few different NFT markets launching pretty soon here. I believe tomorrow we have one launching, and Also, I believe Binance is launching their own NFT chain in about a couple of days.
Exactly. Binance is launching their NFT platform as well. So yeah, like NFTs, that's one more step on decentralization, especially for artists. Um, as an
I, th-
artist
I, th-
myself, I I like it very much. Go
I,
on.
th- I think you've had some experience recently with NFTs, haven't you? Didn't you go through the process of minting one yourself?
Exactly. So yeah, as you guys know, but many people who are watching don't know I'm a photographer as well. So I'm very into the artist space, the art space, and I've minted my own NFT as well. Um, so yeah, I think it's a great concept. A lot of artists we are seeing having major success with it, and of course it's too early, and sometimes the smaller artists has still struggles to actually get a name on the NFT space. But I think it's a great step on the right direction for NFTs, and with Binance actually launching their own platform, it's gonna grow even more. I think.
Yeah, I think when it first started, a lot of people jumped onto it, and there was ridiculous things being sold as NFTs. I think we've all heard news reports of who was it that sold their first tweet? I can't remember that, but there was a
Jack
tweet.
Dorsey?
Was it? Was it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Someone sold a tweet for a ridiculous amount of money.
Yeah, his
See,
first tweet.
along those lines, one of the things that Binance is doing, and they're going to start off first off with 100 artists, and it's going to be a curated list of artists that from all around the world, local artists, probably names we haven't heard of, maybe names we have heard of, and they're also going to have a lot of big names as well. So what's going to end up happening there is, they're going to allow the retailers and the people that are kind of a little iffy into it. They'll have kind of like the premium side of it where there's like that guarantee, like the Gucci, the Nike side of it, where it's name brand, it's from reputable artists that we know and love, and so it's going to be curated, which is going to help. I think in the end, instead of having so much of the bad stuff like the memes trying to be sold for billions of dollars or something.
I love that idea, man. Honestly,
Yep.
when because I worked in the music industry for quite some time, and I was just thinking about some of my favorite artists and how the music industry works and how it could work with NFTs. And for example, if like your favorite artist released his album on only a 2-copy NFT, and then the only people who could buy it are people who bid for it, like people like Apple Music and Spotify, and they will have to bid a lot of money to be able to stream Drake's album and his NFT minted album. So that will really empower artists from all walks of the creative field, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I've actually heard of a few artists, they're iffy about putting their stuff out there because they're just worried that it's
Hmm.
going to get ripped and they're not going to make money off of it. And so it's a real concern.
Yeah, the whole space of the NFTs, it's gonna have to mature a lot, and it's gonna branch out to other areas as well, like you said, music and stuff. But I'm seeing a lot of uh, nice names on this list. I have it up right now. Um, there's a couple people that I know here. Being Brazilian, I've spotted the Brazilian names, some of them right away. So like Paulo Del Valle is like one of the most famous photographers here in Brazil. So I guess he's gonna uh, be a representation of photography with the NFTs. Um, and we have also institutions here as well, like Atlético Mineiro. It's a football club on Brazil,
Okay.
and so yeah, it's interesting to see a football club on this creators space. I don't know if it's actually the real the institution per se, but it's very interesting. And I'm sure there's a lot of really nice people over here. So yeah,
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, no, that is pretty cool. So it looks like they're trying to keep it pretty clean, because, like I said, there are a few platforms out there where, you know, there's stuff just being made for the sake of being made, which
they will have a trading market, and so they'll have a premium event, which is going to have the curated market. But they will have a trading market that, you know, regular people can post there and own NFTs. But, you know, I would imagine that one will be a little more hectic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's a new concept. Pretty excited to see where that goes, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
guys, you want to talk a little bit about regulations?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, so I mean, as you guys know, we got the Yarcrypto news website, yarcryptonews.com, and we've been writing a lot of articles on there, trying to keep you guys up to date on the latest stories in news in terms of crypto and regulations, NFTs, exchanges, all that type of stuff in terms of crypto. And, you know, there was recent stories that we had going on where, you know, the SEC was warning people about the risks of trading BTC futures, or, you know, they were urging Congress to basically implement more regulations to safeguard investors from just losing all their capital on some exchange that is manipulating the price. Or we saw what happened in Turkey.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was absolutely crazy. How much was the value of that in the end that he went off with? That was
about $2 billion he ran off with, and
he's still at large currently, correct?
Apparently he's in a bunker in Albania, which Albania is known for having some of the most amount of bunkers of any other country in the world.
That's a tongue twister, isn't it? Yeah, no. Apparently it does. Actually, it's one of these places that has the most amount of bunkers. I think a lot of them are left over though from previous wars, right, and everything like that. But they do have bunkers. So I imagine if he's got $2 billion, though, he's probably in quite a nice one.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got his Xbox. He's probably got his gummy bears and all that.
Let's hope he's not working on a new trading platform.
Oh yeah, let's hope, man. Let's hope. I wonder what happened to the rest of the guys that were working with him on that exchange, because I know there was about 70 people who got rounded up and arrested.
Yeah,
who were working with him.
I would imagine.
Yeah, talking about
part of them didn't know.
Exactly. Yeah, talking about regulations as well. We gotta talk about the UK, because the UK has been bullying on crypto for a long time now, and this bank TSB, I don't know it myself. I'm not really into the
it's Lloyd's TSB, I believe you're referring to.
Okay, yeah,
possibly.
So they will soon ban 5.4 million customers from buying Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. So this is the whole fear of decentralization that I was talking about. But I don't know how bad is the situation on the UK. I don't know if Yarwood can talk more about that. But
well, as you, funny enough, as you know, I'm currently in that area at the moment, but I don't actually spend a lot of time there. Yeah, I think it's a shame really that we haven't got Shai in tonight, because Shai would probably have a lot more knowledge on that, and I don't want to say something that I'm just speculating on, but I can't see it working. We have Bitcoin ATMs in the UK, so there's places to buy it, and I imagine if they're regulating it through stopping customers from purchasing Bitcoin, they're going to have to do it where they identify the payment processors of the exchanges. But if you want to buy it, there is ways to buy it in the UK. So yeah. I don't know whether that's a move forward. I did hear some speculation, and again, this is just speculation, but I did hear speculation that a few banks were looking into the possibility of opening internal wallets for Bitcoin. because there are a couple of companies that offer alternative banking services. For example, Revolut is one of them, where Revolut is a service that's available throughout Europe and the UK. I do believe in a couple of other countries as well. But they offer a UK bank account with a UK sort code and account number, as well as a debit card. It's one of these digital banks similar to Money's, this type of thing. You can purchase Bitcoin within their application. So, you know, they are competing. I think someone here as well, I think Danny here has just sent us a message. I think banning from the UK banks is going to be gradual, temporary. Yeah. Give banks a chance.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Danny says that he doesn't think it's gonna work, and yeah, that's what I was gonna say as well. Like, how much of all of this regulation actually stops people from buying? Like, or is it just incentive for people actually buying more? I actually
It's
tweeted
like
about it.
prohibition, right? You know, when you say
Yeah,
they can't have it, it's like more people want it.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and you know, like I said, there are ways. One of the countries I live in, Eastern Europe, I've got I think about 6 Bitcoin ATMs just around my location. They're just in the shopping malls.
One recently too, a Bitcoin ATM to purchase Bitcoin around here.
I've tried it out actually a few times, but you can literally just walk up to it. There's no KYC involved, and you just punch in whether you want to buy or you punch in whether you want to sell. It prints you out a receipt with a QR code. You scan the QR code from your mobile, from a wallet, send the Bitcoin to the machine. You need to wait about 10-15 minutes, and then you scan the QR code back at the machine and it pumps out your cash.
Yeah.
So, and likewise, you can put cash back in the machine in order to buy it, and you input a wallet address. So, you know, there are services available to buy it. Plus, the other thing we do have in the UK is we do have the concept of prepaid debit cards and prepaid Visa cards. And these are not essentially regulated by a bank. They'd be regulated by MasterCard or Visa. So there is ways around, I think, purchasing Bitcoin with a card without using your physical bank card that's issued by one of the big major banks. But I don't think it's going to do too much.
What's Bitcoin doing right now? I do see a little bit of volume coming in on the 50.
Or at 30. Yeah, we've gone up a little bit. I've just got bookmap streaming as well on the other side.
Yeah, on the 15-minute chart, it looks like we're getting some bullish engulfing candles. Volume forming. We have over here on the side for the money flow is potentially ticking over to the right side for the bears, for the bulls, but that's
I imagine the RSI, especially on the 4 hour as well, is very, very oversold.
Yeah.
And it has been for the past 2 or 3 days. So we might see some relief rally from here.
Yeah, I agree. And depending on where we end up, at the moment, we are printing divergences on the RSI from the current price. That's why we're seeing this kind of bullish momentum at the moment.
Yes.
If you look at the previous low here that we reached on Coinbase, it's 30,000, about 800, and the RSI there was a little bit lower, basically.
Yep.
And so we have a higher low on the RSI, lower. Yeah, it's just looking bullish.
So here's some textbook TA that you might have, if you watch my video on support and resistance, you might have picked up. So as you guys see, we broke this support right here, and right now it's resistance, but we have not retested it on the daily time frame. So I imagine that if the sellers are really exhausted right now, that we are gonna come back to this level right here and possibly retest it as resistance and see if we maintain this zone of sideways movement, because this is sideways movement so far. So yeah, we could see a retest of the 35K to see if we're gonna break above it or break down from that as we test that resistance point. So yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I'll throw on one of my charts that I've been working on a little bit. It might be a little crazy, but I'll just point out a few things that I was seeing. So let's see. Can you guys see my chart right now?
Bear with us a couple of seconds.
Yes, sir.
All right. So let me just say that I have a lot of drawings on this chart, so bear with me and let me just turn them off. But as you can see, guys, this blue ribbon right here was the 200 daily EMA. And once we fell through that daily EMA ribbon, I'm looking at the 4-hour chart, but this EMA ribbon is locked to the 1 day chart. So this EMA ribbon, this blue ribbon we fell through on May 18th. We found support on it when we first touched it, but we eventually fell through it, and then we never tested it until June 15th and June 14th. And then that rejection right there it was a really bearish event. It was quite a bearish event, but we just went down. We did see some reaction to that 21 daily EMA ribbon, which is this white ribbon right here. But we still did not find support there for long, and we eventually fell through it. And now we're, like Groovy was just saying, and Legal was just saying, we're finding support on a local low from June 8th, as you could see, guys, which was roughly around, let me just get my drawing back up so you guys could see exactly. It's roughly around 31,000. So that's where we're kind of finding support on that local low. But, this is definitely not the area where you should feel bullish, because we're under the cloud. We're under the Ichimoku cloud. We're under EMAs that we got rejected from almost immediately. We're back under that trend line that we touched 5 times since May 21st.
Mm-hmm.
This blue trend line descending right here. We broke out of it on June 14th, but then we fell right back into it. And, there's no real reason to feel bullish in terms of the TA right now, in my opinion, when I'm looking at this 4-hour chart. The only thing that I could see that gives me hope for Bitcoin right here is this bullish divergence on the MACD, which is from this low of this histogram on June 8th to this low right here. We made a lower low on June 19th. And then during that leg of price action, we made higher lows. But then we're still basically coming back to the same level eventually, and we're doing a double bottom. And so the fact that we are bouncing here is a good sign, because it is that double bottom effect, which is a bullish price structure. But we're going to have to see some more stuff from Bitcoin to impress us and kind of really push us back into that bullish territory, because we're way under the cloud.
A critical point right now, especially if you look at my chart really quickly.
Yeah.
We have here, I pull up the Renko chart, which essentially, for those of you who don't know what the Renko chart is, if you go here by candles instead of regular candles or Haikinishi, which I like to call it is Haikini candles. Excuse me. It's hard. It's not easy for everyone. But we have here something called Renko. Essentially, this chart is not so much based on time, but based on price blocks, so to speak. So we have a certain distance that the price travels, and no matter how long it takes for that to happen, or that block to fill out, that's what will happen. But it's basically great to show trends and, patterns like double bottoms and whatnot. And so right now we are currently at a double bottom situation with the Renko chart. But I would also argue that this is a real critical time for us, because if we do break below this one and start forming a new, candle on the lower side of this Renko, it's just going to confirm, this downtrend, overall downtrend, and so we would look down for this new target of this inverse head and this head and shoulders that was seemingly playing out. But yeah, the Renko chart is very useful because it kind of gives you the average and lets you see the pattern a little better there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very very scary times right now, guys. I would advise so much caution right now. Wait for the market to actually uh, like say what it's gonna do, and yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see. We have a bunch of things coming up. We have EIP 1559 for Ethereum. We have smart contracts coming on for Cardano in 90 days as well. And we're gonna have to see how the miners are gonna react to everything as well. So yeah, there's some bullish things coming. So let's have some hope and just keep trading.
How are some of the other altcoins doing at the moment? Then with this at the moment, what else have we got?
Yeah, I can have a look at ADA right here.
Yeah.
ADA, well, similarly to BTC as well, we have a lot of dumpage going on.
Yeah, a lot of head and shoulder patterns I'm noticing all around. ADA actually just completed one recently too.
Mm-hmm. I don't see a lot of support. If I would like pick a support zone right here, it would be this one. So we would take all of this and get a range of support. So basically this whole area right here and here as well. And then we have reactions here.
Mm-hmm.
So this is major for Cardano, but we gotta actually keep in mind that it has been tested many times as support. So we know that every time the support is tested, it becomes weaker. So if we get down to here again, we need to be careful. But with so many things happening with Cardano and the project being as good as it is, I imagine we can go that much far down in this project. So yeah.
Another thing I want to point out, if you're actually looking at my chart, this is a much older chart that I had drawn out with the Cardano Ethereum pairing, essentially, showing the previous history that we had. Let me switch to the daily canvas for you guys so you can see this a lot clearer. Cardano has a history in terms of finding some major resistance over here around this level here.
Got rejected there 3 times.
Yeah, so we got rejected 3 times over the course of the history of the coin, and we did break above it. It seems like we found support in 2 occasions where we dumped, found support, came down. It looks like we had teeter-tottering the support and resistance here, and then currently we broke down. We are back above it, and which I would call this actually a bullish move, because even though we broke down, we came back to retest it and then broke above it and found support. So this would be confluent with Groovy's, range, where it actually goes back a long time, this area that we're looking at, this zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I understand. I understand what you mean there.
And then you see I have the danger zone. I've been charting this since, early March, late February.
Can we have a look at XRP? Is XRP around?
Let's take a look.
XRP, actually, it's interesting.
Yeah, we're currently at 61 cents for XRP, which is also arguably a major, support zone that it needs to hold because of the previous resistance that was shown in this price range, going back, as early as November 2020. So, this is a key level to really hold on to at the moment.
Oh, I think we've just had someone join us here in the chat.
That's that's so nice of you, Alex Randazzo. He says, "You guys are my go-to source for all things crypto. Love you guys. Keep up the great work."
Thanks.
Wow, that
nice. Well, Alex, you've joined us on our first Yarcrypto live stream. So we're doing our best to make it as smooth as possible. But we will get better as time goes on. But by all means, give us a subscribe, stay with us. Groovy often releases some TA videos every day. And Sterling, you also jump in, don't you, there with some videos as well?
Yes.
So welcome, Alex, to the Yarcrypto family.
The Yarcrypto family, guys. Oh, yeah. So
a lot of areas right now that we're currently at with a lot of coins that we need to look out for, some key levels at this moment.
Yep. Let me actually look at the BTC dominance, because it seems like
And
it's
the daily as
increased.
well, not to cut you off, but the daily of BTC, is looking fairly bullish with this new candle that's printing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And we have been seeing a increase on the dominance as well. The weekly has been, especially on the weekly time frame. So I think for now we're gonna see BTC actually taking the lead for the market, for the whole market. Obviously, we always have the altcoins that doesn't follow BTC that much.
yeah.
But I think if BTC recovers from here, or even goes for a relief rally, we might see all the altcoins moving on with it. Or if it breaks down even more, the whole crypto market's gonna crash with it. That's the unfortunate truth of Bitcoin right now.
Awesome.
Oh God.
Not too good, eh?
Big Daddy Bitcoin is going to take down the whole market with him.
Yeah,
we need him to go up. But mind you, if you've got the capital here, it's like a half price sale going on at the moment. And if it gets any lower, then
time maybe dollar cost averaging.
Yeah. So we have to see.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about, guys, just because we are falling at these levels. I mean, a lot of people would look at this low price for Bitcoin, considering we have dropped by 50%, basically. A lot of people would be looking at this as like, oh, this is a great time to buy. This is a great time to go for a long because I could long the bottom. Well, yeah, but you would be front running the chart because nothing in the chart is telling us we're looking that bullish, really. I mean, we have the double bottom structure, and we're finding support on a local low. However, it's not somewhere that you're going to want to look for that legendary long just yet, man. I mean,
so
dollar cost average, look for your Fibonacci levels, look for your support levels, and dollar cost average into those levels.
See, but what can we do, Sterling? See, that's the catch now. Like, what can people do? How can they earn money in a bear market? And there's a lot of stuff I'm seeing that's popping up. Like, just tomorrow we have this DYP.finance. They're launching their NFT market, but they're also going to have yield farming, and it does seem like very interesting because they're going to be paying out in ETH, BNB, and DYP, which is, I believe, their token. But it's set up in a way that it seems like very beneficial to people to kind of park their money in a market that's doing fairly bad.
Yeah. So what I tend to say about buying the dip, as people say, is of course you're gonna buy at a lower point on the price, but you gotta be careful with that as well, because I see a lot of people like, oh, but I keep buying the dip, but it keeps dipping, and I keep losing money and stuff. So you gotta be careful with that, because like a lot of people that I know, they bought at like 50, 60K, and people kept telling them, oh, buy the dip, buy more, buy more, buy more. So yeah, that's a dangerous thing to say when we are dealing with people's money here, and I see a lot of it being spread around, especially Twitter. People just talking like, yeah, buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. And sometimes it's just overly, as I'm gonna keep bringing it up, overly emotional opinions. And yeah, sometimes it comes to a point where people just follow it and lose money, and yeah, that's never good for anyone, I think.
Yeah, because it's really easy to convince someone to say, "Hey, look, it's dropped this much. It can't go that much lower. Just buy the
Yeah.
dip." But there is a responsible way to do it. And if you have $1,000 you're trying to invest, you're not gonna buy the dip with 1,000.
Yeah.
You might split it up into 10 different purchases where your dollar
Mhm.
cost averaging over a 2-month period or 3-month period.
Yeah, exactly. There's always the responsible way of doing something, and I see a lot of people not doing it and the responsible way. Unfortunately,
Yeah. I think
we're all guilty of this.
I think we're all very guilty of this.
The emotional side of it, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things. But I think you did a very good tutorial the other day. Was it Groovy? You did a very good tutorial on support and resistance lines the other day, didn't you?
yes, sir, I did.
Have we got that live? Is that up on our screen? That's on our YouTube channel, isn't it? At the moment, that particular
Yes.
video. Yeah, so that's a good one.
And there's
That's
going
a
to be a
good
lot
one.
more tutorials coming out to look out for that, guys.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
doing these lives a lot. We're gonna be doing these live streams a lot more. I was pretty happy with it. It was really fun.
yeah, I have very much enjoyed that, and I think we haven't had so much of a technical disaster tonight. I was expecting us to accidentally be live streaming something completely different, which we haven't done yet. So I'm sure there'll come a point when that does happen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I'm really glad it worked out. Sorry to cut
no,
you off.
I was just saying it is after work for us. So if something does go wrong,
Yeah.
we should be forgiven.
But yeah, I loved it, man. Great discussion
Awesome.
we had.
I think we should potentially wrap up for the evening, and we'll be back very soon. What do you guys think?
Sounds good. And everybody, thank you guys for joining.
Thank you guys.
If you want to be in tune for the next live shows, just make sure if you are subscribed to hit the notification icon, because YouTube is tricky. If you don't hit that, they're not going to notify you.
Yeah, that is a fair point. And if you have any questions, you can always comment under this video for questions, and we'll pick up on that and definitely answer them next time.
Yeah.
Yes, guys. That was I loved how we were getting some interactiveness from the viewers today.
Yeah, we love you guys. Thank you.
We love you guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, no worries. See you soon.
All right, guys. See you guys soon, and have a wonderful night. Good luck on your trades, and keep watching those charts.
Take care.
Peace out, my
For
dudes.
now, until next time, we are Yarcrypto.
Bye bye.